You should all have a notice, and I am going to admit everyone else, all right? All right, we're going in. Thank you, good.
You good, Mayor?
Good to go.
Oh, you got one more. You got Joe.
Yep, I'll let them in as they come. Whenever you're ready, Council President.
Welcome everyone to the Township Council meeting Monday, February 23rd, 2026. This meeting is now called to order. All please rise to salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can you please read a statement of public notice?
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on January 14, 2026. Copy of the notice was sent to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the Township website at littlefallsnj.gov. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Present.
Councilmember Murphy?
Present.
Councilmember Hablitz?
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of February 9, 2026?
So moved.
I'm sorry, it's difficult for me to hear. Who made the motion? Was that Councilwoman Patel?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the second was Councilwoman Hablitz?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, you have that?
Yes.
Okay, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, have a motion to open the meeting to the public hearing for the Green Acres Program Park Development Application.
So moved.
Field Park, moved by Councilwoman Hablitz,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing is now open. Yes, Mayor, no one in the chat.
Council President, there's no hands raised in the chat.
Seeing no one come before us, the public hearing on the Green Acres is now closed. Mayor Damiano?
Absolutely. Thank you, Council President. And just for further clarity, although it was obviously advertised and included in this agenda, there are some intentions, and I will let Councilwoman Hablitz explain it a little bit further, to add some fitness equipment at Duva Field. There was a grant available this year through the Green Acres Program that will assist us in funding part of this improvement. And there's a grant that was being sought to add some additional activity there so that residents can utilize our entire area there at Duva, including some fitness equipment and workout equipment, which would be a nice addition to have at that entire facility. So again, I'll let Councilwoman Hablitz expand a little bit further, but that was what the public hearing was for, related to these improvements at Duva Park. A couple of items that I have before we get to the agenda items. First and foremost, as everybody knows, we were hit with, still waiting for real final totals, but 16 to 18 inches, depending on where you were here in town. We had a really significant snowfall, and the real problem with it was that it lasted nearly 18 hours to 20 hours or so. And having a snowfall with as much snow as we did over that period of time, it really results in some serious fatigue to our DPW workers who spent the entire night battling the storm, trying to stay ahead of it. And I want to absolutely applaud them for the job that they did. This morning, by the time anybody really could have or should have needed to leave their house, the roads were absolutely drivable here. And every road throughout the municipality that our DPW serviced was in absolutely outstanding shape. And I want to thank them for their hard work and dedication, staying up all night long to battle the storm to make sure that we had safe roads for all of us to drive on. So a huge thank you to our entire DPW staff. As far as other reports right now, there's a number of other things that we are going to be looking to incorporate this year as far as expanding our streetscapes. There have been already capital ordinances approved for these. So we're looking to continue to beautify our streetscapes this year is going to be one of the major changes that people will begin to see as the weather begins to break. We have some contracts that have been awarded, and we'll be meeting with those contractors soon for pre-construction meetings so that we can continue our streetscape all the way down towards the Peckman Bridge. We are very excited to continue that. It certainly has been bringing some major curb appeal back to the town in areas where there are sidewalks that are certainly getting dated and things like that. The streetlights, of course, as everybody knows, all year round, but especially around the holidays, really makes Little Falls look extra festive. So we're certainly looking forward to that. And I'm pleased to say that a majority of the expenses, with very limited exception, is entirely covered by grants that we received from the state. So very appreciative for all of that. And we will continue to see that good work happening as the weather begins to break and as we have these pre-construction meetings with our contractor and we can give them the green light to proceed. I'm also happy to answer any questions that the council may have at this time.
Mayor, do you want to discuss 1536, 37, 38 about public housing?
Absolutely. I will certainly get through all of our ordinances that we intend to address this evening. As far as new business this evening, one of the ordinances that we're looking to address is 1536. It has to do with the central business district requirements of the township and the central business district zone. And as everyone knows, we have largely completed our fourth round of affordable housing here in Little Falls. And I'll get into that in just a second as well. Well, I might as well do that now. Our initial obligation as set forth by the state was 285 additional affordable housing units. After much appeal, and thank you to the hard work by our municipal planner, as well as our township council, we got Fair Share to agree to a significant reduction down to 174 units. It is a reduction of 111 total units, which is extremely substantial because, frankly, we don't have the vacant land that the state thought we did. And I say that because initially the state included some properties that had massive water mains under them with massive easements, and just the inability to actually develop the property that the state thought may be developable. So we were able to successfully defend our position that we needed a substantial reduction. And part of that this evening is just, in fact, this will be adopting that, which will also be 1537. So those two things will go hand in hand. We're looking to address the density in our central business district to ensure that there's no density outside of our control, meaning currently our central business district is limited to the number of units by the number of parking spaces available. So currently, if a developer can fit 400 parking spaces on a small lot, they can then theoretically provide an adequate parking for a significant number of units. That is now going to be limited by this ordinance 1536, far more than it was previously by just the parking requirement needing to be met. So it is something that we have been looking to do to ensure that we don't have development within our central business district that is too dense for this municipality's liking. So that was, again, 1537 had to do with the affordable housing obligation that we have. 1538 is our multi-family overlay zone. And throughout this, we are looking to address and amend our overlay zone throughout the municipality. There were times in town where prior administrations incorporated what they call overlay zones in particular zones here in town. So, for example, it may have been an R1A, R1B, or R1C zone throughout the municipality, as well as others, where there were overlay zones where in small sections of those, a developer would have been permitted to include affordable housing. We're looking to amend that with ordinance 1538 to ensure that that is a limited option for developers moving forward. And finally, 1539 is the ordinance regarding traffic on-street regulations, with a second reading again for that one on March 9th, as it is with all of these. And that in particular has to do with snow. We have had an issue with snow-covered streets in town and parking on them during snow events. The ordinance itself was written very clearly and certainly addressed the fact that parking on roadways is prohibited. Unfortunately, the title of this ordinance made it somewhat unclear as far as when the triggering event is that no longer permits parking on our roadways. And I say that because the title says when plowing operations are in effect, and it referenced the plow, but it had to really do with when roadways are snow covered, because this also does impact the municipality's ability to salt and get the roads properly cleared. So we're just looking to clarify the title of this ordinance and get that addressed. So those are the four ordinances that are before the council this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Hablitz, do you want to add anything to the open space? I mean, the Green Acres, I'm sorry.
Sure. I just wanted to say thank you for having the open public forum tonight. With this grant, this is just one of the grants we will be applying for, as we do with all of our playgrounds and recreation. We apply for multiple grants, having to have the least impact on our taxpayers and the biggest reward from the grants. So this will just be the first of one of the grants. This project will probably take place somewhere in 2027 or 2028, because we do have a few playgrounds that we will be redoing prior to that. But we did run a survey, and it was one of the top ask of our residents that took the survey. And of course, we, we're there for our residents through everything: health, fitness, the community events that we have in town, and this will encourage physical activity for residents of all ages. There will be equipment there for seniors looking for low impact exercise. There will be rec programs that can be hosted with this equipment. They'll have it's also going to be ADA accessible, so it can be utilized by all groups of people. So it really will be a great addition to our already great sports and recreation complex.
Thank you. Councilor Wenzel, you want to talk about a little bit our lawsuit that we joined the municipalities has landed on a desk of one of the Chief Justices and Chief Justice. Talk about that, and a little bit kind of confused. Usually it takes a long time for anything to reach there, so I was a little concerned how fast it got to the Supreme Court.
Sure, Council President. I can't turn on my video, but yes, the lawsuit was at the federal level. We had hoped that we would be successful in front of Judge Qudarshi at the district court level. He did have an expedited schedule for hearing the appeal, basically on the points that the state was moving too fast without due circumspection into these numbers and the consequences of these numbers on various municipalities. Unfortunately, Judge Qudarshi did not decide in our favor. He ultimately punted, in essence. The legal team then filed an emergent application for an appeal to the Third Circuit, which was taken up by the Third Circuit, but that was not successful again. However, I should really say Mr. Collins, who's leading the litigation group, then made an application to the Supreme Court. Now, for the non-lawyers out there, you just can't go to the Supreme Court just because you like to. There's a process called certiorari, which is basically a method by which the Supreme Court of the United States determines whether or not the case is appropriate to be brought at that level. Justice Alito, a New Jersey native, by the way, ultimately determined that certiorari should be granted. And now we are in the process of making that application to the Supreme Court for final. It's in essence a two-step process. So there's still more procedure to go before a hearing before the Supreme Court, but at the very least, the Supreme Court has not just turned around and said, "Don't bother coming here." So there is still a glimmer of hope that perhaps the Supreme Court will realize that we have some very valid arguments about the methodology that's been employed with regard to this fourth round for affordable housing obligations. However, because we cannot guarantee that any action is going to be taken before the deadlines that the township faces, that all the municipalities face, remember that everything must be completed by March 15th. And when I say everything, that is your amended housing and spending plan, as well as ordinances effectuating any changes to the affordable housing zoning in town. Even though the mayor indicated that there's not many things that we are amending, there are some things we're amending. So therefore, those need to be introduced and sent to the planning board for review and then brought back to the council for action before March 15th. If we don't do that by March 15th, the township loses immunity from builder's remedies, which is always the dagger hanging over all municipalities' heads. So we have to proceed on both tracks, hopefully waiting for a good decision from the Supreme Court, but at the same time, we need to enact the ordinance to protect Little Falls' interests.
Thank you, Counselor. Mayor, you have anything you want to allude to this?
Council President, last meeting, as everyone will recall, we had a resident here who was extremely upset about the mitigation assistance program and the funding having been cut off, and him receiving a letter, as well as I had mentioned, I received a couple of other emails from residents who received the same letter. I have been following up, and in most recent communications with the DCA here in New Jersey, and I received an email late last week, and we are scheduling a meeting for early this week, although today's already Monday, has come and gone. And it stated that they wanted to reach out regarding the mitigation assistance program and that they have an understanding how frustrating the situation is for residents here in town. He said it'd be helpful. If it would be helpful, I would welcome the opportunity to speak with you directly to walk through where things stand and the alternative mitigation pathways we are actively pursuing for the affected households. Said outreach is already underway, and I want to ensure that you have a full understanding of what occurred and what options remain available so that we can work collaboratively in supporting your residents. Again, a meeting is being scheduled because this is certainly something that a number of our residents have been actively pursuing. This was something that was brought to the township's attention and that myself and this council approved to proceed, and it required that step. And these residents have been taking significant steps towards elevating their homes, or had the hopes of elevating their homes, only to have the carpet pulled out from under their feet a couple of weeks ago. So we are continuing to advocate on their behalf here in town to get them the funding that they need and deserve to elevate their homes, to keep them out of harm's way in the event of a future flood event along the Passaic River. So we do continue to fight for this program, or for funding at least, that would accomplish the same result as this program would here in Little Falls, because these residents do absolutely deserve to have their homes elevated. They have been doing everything right. They have met all of the regulations and the guidelines as far as continuing to maintain insurance and everything else. So to have this rug have pulled out from under their feet was certainly something that was upsetting to me. But we do continue to advocate for them in an effort to get either this funding or some other funding that will allow these homes to be elevated. So I'm pleased to report that I remain optimistic that we will find some alternative, if not this, to get those homes elevated.
Well, that's certainly great news, Mayor. Thank you. Councilwoman Patel?
Thank you, Council President. So the Clifton Health Department is hosting a program for residents that are 55 years and older that are having ongoing health concerns. These programs are going to be held throughout the months of March and April. There's going to be a total of 6 classes that residents can participate in. And essentially, it's going to provide them with information on current health concerns that they should be aware of, how to manage certain symptoms, and kind of just learn more about living a healthier lifestyle. And so, any resident that's interested should contact myself, or they could contact Donnie at the Clifton Health Department at 201-740-7011. Participants will receive a $25 gift card if they attend all 6 sessions. The Clifton Health Department is also hosting a free paint and sip on Tuesday, March 26th at 6 o'clock here at the Civic Center. They've done a lot of these programs. They're always a huge hit and tend to book up very quickly. So if you want to participate, registration is required, and you can contact either me or Ashley at the Health Department at 201-739-0665. And then the next Public Health Committee meeting will be held on March 16th at 3:45 at the Civic Center. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hablitz.
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to say to my colleague, Councilman Vanchery, he put a wonderful program together along with the Little Falls Muslim Committee for Ramadan last Sunday, excuse me. It really was a great program and well attended. So kudos to Councilman Vanchery for that and the Little Falls Muslim Committee. Some library updates on March 2nd at 12:30. The library will host Canasta. You can learn how to play, meet people, and just have a good time, as with all of our library events. They're always great. Also on the 2nd at 6:30 p.m., there will be Lego-Rama. There's free Lego play with no registration needed. And finally, on March 3rd at 1 p.m., the library will host Rama Cube. The Little Falls Farmers Market opening day will be May 19th at our new location, which is the Little Falls train station lot. It will be every Sunday through the last weekend in October, and we are still looking for vendors. We do have very many vendors, but we're still looking for more since we have so much more space now. So you can contact Tyler Pissarro and the Farmers Market manager at LF Farmers Market at littlefallsnj.gov. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. Councilman Murphy.
Thank you, Council President. Just first, like to echo the mayor's remarks. I'd like to thank the Little Falls DPW and first responders. Usually I get some phone calls and texts asking to clear off some roads, and this past storm I didn't. So just want to thank them for ensuring our town continued to operate safely and no issues. Other than that, just quickly, we do have a domestic violence awareness committee meeting on Tuesday the 3rd, next Tuesday, in the upstairs room of Town Hall. We have been switching some of these to virtual. So if you are looking to attend, just shoot me an email. Sometimes we've been switching these to virtual, so I just wanted to make a note of that if anybody did want to attend. Other than that, that's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. I also want to say first, thank you to our DPW department. They once again did an amazing job. You know, they were out there yesterday, the minute there was snow on the ground. And as the mayor alluded to, they worked all day. So just grateful that, you know, when you drive on our roads, you see that they really do put the time and the effort to make sure they're clear and drivable for our residents. So again, thank you to DPW. I also want to mention too, this week we have, for those of you that made your appointments through the Real ID, obviously today was canceled because of the weather, and everyone that was scheduled for today was notified by the DMV, and we're told you can come any day this week, whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So anyone that had to switch their day up, just come in tomorrow and they will gladly accept you. The one thing I do want to emphasize is because of the cancellations, it just may mean a little longer while you're there, knowing that it's sort of going to be doubled up the next few days for sure with people who didn't get a chance to come today. But just grateful too for the DMV. You know, when we reached out and asked them to come back to Little Falls, we were hoping for at least one day, and they're giving us 5. I know, unfortunately, we have 4, but it's a good way for the residents to finally get this real ID, so to make it a little bit easier as you travel going forward. Thank you, Councilwoman Hablitz. You know, I just want to say too, the event this past Sunday we had for Ramadan, just grateful for the support. Thank you for the mayor and the council for being there, as well as our senator, our assemblymen, and members of the state county commissioners, just the residents of Little Falls that came out, whether it was for the ceremony or the celebration at the rec center. You know, we take a lot of pride in having these events throughout the year to raise awareness of everything that we can in Little Falls. So just grateful for the support from the committee, and we're already planning for next year's event. So thank you for that. And just lastly, you know, as the mayor alluded to with the one agenda item, just want to say thank you to Deputy Chief Pressing. You know, after the last storm, this was something that he had brought up, and I know I mentioned at the last meeting, just the clarity on the title of the ordinance. So glad that we're moving ahead with that. And I know, Mayor, we're looking into bringing at some point next month, hopefully, the ordinance to address the parking on Ridge that we've discussed. That's it for me, Council President.
Councilman, tell me why someone would want, what's the benefit of the real ID? Because I have people call me up and say, well, why do I need why should I get a real ID? I want it, but I don't even know what it really does. So why would it be beneficial for someone to get, quote, the real ID?
Well, because if you don't have a passport and if you want to travel anywhere in the U.S., you're going to need to have the real ID. Otherwise, you're facing charges now every time you travel. Initially, it was $15 that you would have to pay if you were traveling without a passport and you didn't have the real ID. Now it went up as of February 1st to $45. So it's a little bit of an inconvenience. I mean, unfortunately, with the real ID, this process was dragged on for a number of years. It was done going back almost 20 something years ago, where it was supposed to be enacted, and there was a lot of delays. And every year the timeline came up for New Jersey to sort of implement it. It was delayed. And finally it was like, no, you have to get this done. So it's just a convenience thing if you are traveling. If you do have your passport, you don't need your real ID, but we know there's some people that don't have a passport, or if you're in a situation where your passport is expired. So unless you want to pay an extra $45, when you're probably paying another $65 to check in a luggage and all the other fees that are involved. So it's more of a convenience thing. So if you can get it, it's great. If not, just be prepared to make sure you bring your passport when you travel across the U.S. Otherwise, you got to pay the $45 if you don't have one. So
Thank you. Last week, myself, Councilwoman Patel, Councilman Murphy, and Councilwoman Hablitz attended a special meeting concerning the Peckman Preserve Park that is coming to our town. The park is really well designed organically with trails and artwork. It's going to be a great feature for the Township of Little Falls. There was a high concern among our residents about the bathroom or comfort station that is what they call bathrooms. It's called Comfort Station. The residents had concerns that they did come up and speak to the engineers and to the planners of that park. That meeting was hosted by Commissioner Lazara. We're hoping that their concerns are going to be listened to and acted on, but we're also very glad that this park is finally going to be happening, hopefully within the next 2 years. Can I have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Hablitz,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Patel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide a comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. The floor is now open. Mayor, is there anyone that'd like to speak to us?
Council President, no hands are raised.
See no one that would like to speak on agenda items only. Can I have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Councilman Patel, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Madam Clerk, call the roll for the consent agenda.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy, Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, ordinance 1536, please.
Introduction of ordinance number 1536, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls amending Article 16B, Transit Village Districts, Chapter 280-136.16, TV, CBD, Central Business District requirements of the Township Code to establish a permitted residential density in the TV CBD zone pursuant to the Township's adopted fourth-round housing element and fair share plan, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for March 9th, 2026.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce 1536?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Hablitz,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. Call the roll for 1536 introduction.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy, Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, 1537.
Introduction of ordinance number 1537, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township of Little Falls to repeal and replace Chapter 57, Development Fees, and repeal and replace Chapter 97, Housing Affordable, to address the requirements of the Fair Housing Act and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls regarding compliance with the Township's affordable housing obligations, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for March 9th, 2026.
I have a motion to introduce 1537.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, call the roll on 1537 to introduce.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy, Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, 1538, please.
Introduction of ordinance number 1538, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township of Little Falls amending Article 18, Affordable Multifamily Overzone AMF, Chapter 280-139.12, Low and Moderate Income Housing Requirements of the Township Code to increase the permitted density in the AMF zone pursuant to the Township's adopted fourth-round housing element and fair share plan, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for March 9th, 2026.
I have a motion to introduce 1538
So moved.
by Councilman Hablitz,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. Madam Clerk, call the roll to introduce 1538.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy, Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, 1539, please.
Introduction of ordinance number 1539, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township of Little Falls amending Chapter 7 Traffic on-Street Regulations of the Code of the Township of Little Falls, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for March 9th, 2026.
I have a motion to introduce 1539.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, call the roll to introduce 1539.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy, Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Can I have a motion to introduce, have a motion to open the meeting to the public for general matters?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilman Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk?
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mayor, is there anyone wishing to join us for general matters?
There are no hands raised, Council President.
I have a motion. I want to thank the mayor, by the way, for helping us this evening with the Zoom call. Thank you, Mayor. I have a motion to close the public comment.
I'll move.
Moved by
Second.
Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Abbott, second by Councilman Patel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is now closed.